So welcome all for the video lecture 3 on module 1. So in our previous two video lecture, we have discussed about what is work breakdown structure, its definition, types of work breakdown structure. So there are two types, deliverable WBS and phase-based WBS. So WBS is nothing but work breakdown structure. And we came to know about the Gantt chart, its definitions and uses. And we have just started this discussion on the preparation of network diagram. So as we discussed in our previous session, this network diagram plays an important role in order to conveniently execute the project and also to avoid the schedule slippages, right? We have discussed. So time overruns, inadequate decisions, and some structural complications. So many things will be involved. So between so many construction activities. So those are all can be tackled using this network diagram. So there are three types or four types of network diagrams are there, which is popularly used. So those network diagrams, we call it as effective management tool. Okay, for what? For planning, scheduling, and controlling of complex project. So what are those? So those are nothing but you can see here three things or four, let us say. One is critical path method. Okay, one is critical path method, CPM. Short form is CPM. And next one is program evaluation and review technique. Second one. Third one, precedence diagram method, PDM, or it is also called as precedence network analysis, PNA. And last one is graphical evaluation and review technique. So these are so many techniques are involved in order to control the project, to execute the project smoothly. So that is it. So today we will see how to uh, go with this. So this is what you see commonly used project techniques. These commonly used project techniques are uh, activity and arrow. So these are all we are going to discuss in it. Activity on node techniques. So in activity and arrow techniques, two things. One is CPM, that is construction project management tool, that is PERT and CPM. So in activity and arrow techniques, we are having two, that is CPM. So don't confuse with CPM. CPM means it may be construction project management, but here it is critical path method. Sometimes you are going to use the CPM for construction project management, but here particularly it is critical path method and PERT, so program evaluation review technique, and other two just what we saw is PNA or PDM, that is precedence network analysis, and graphical evaluation review techniques. Activity on nodes, AON techniques. Okay. So today we will concentrate on CPM, that is critical path method network analysis. Okay. So what is this actually? So the two basic elements used in network are activity and event. You see, this is most important. So one is activity and second one is event. So before you proceed to develop this network system, let us understand what is activity and what is event. And sometimes the dummy activities are also being introduced. So what are these activity? What are these? What are we call it as events? And when these dummy activities are useful? So those are the things we are going to discuss. First one. So what is activity? Okay, you just define the activity. You are doing so many activities in the construction site now. So activity is nothing but an identifiable, okay, quantifiable. You see, measure, you can able to measure, and it is having some cost, and it is a discrete lowest level element of work. This is most important. Activity is nothing but it is the lowest level means here the what is the first thing it is going to start. Okay, all projects without any activity, okay, it will not going to start all project work. So activity is nothing but the first and foremost thing. Lowest is not nothing but it is a cheap or like that. Don't misunderstand the word that lowest. Lowest means there is a basic, the fundamental element of work. Okay, this is a fundamental element of work. What we call it as, without which you see you can't able to perform efficiently during the course of the project. And finally, what is this? You already know. You should be able to achieve the project mission. Okay, the main objective or the goal, the function or the mission of the project can be executed by using this basic fundamental activity, which is going to take place continuously throughout your project. That's what is called this activity. Okay, so next. And these activity, so basically they are going to consume the time. You see, that is required. No, all activities will have their own time is going to consume. For example, excavation. Excavation means at least if you take a JCB, okay, if you take a JCB for a 2040 site, at least it will take 1.5 days time. Okay, if you use JCB also. Okay. That's what depends. 1 day or 1.5 day. So and like that, each and every activity consumes their time. Okay, consume its own time, like acquiring land, fixing steel, okay, the collecting materials, building wall, constructing a roof, curing, okay, removing the shuttering, okay. So many construction activities they are going to consume the time for their completion. And this is one thing. This you should be able to understand. Okay, so next one. So the next one is, you see, for example, one is just an example. Don't worry about this complex network. We're going to tackle this complex network in the our future discussion. So here is just an example. You see this example of a pumping station project where it has been systematically formulated or it has been developed. This network analysis critical path method. Why we will call it the critical path method? So those are the things we are going to discuss in future. So now you need not to worry about that. First, you understand what is a network diagram and what are the different elements of the network diagram. So the main elements are activity, first one, second one is event. So you see, first you just identify the various activities here and this corresponding duration. Okay, so if you take these, you see, what are the activities here? You see, excavation, foundation, wall, roof, plaster, plumbing, flooring. Okay, next is foundation pumps, let us say, procuring pump sets. Some other, you see, these are some of the other things, fixing pipes. These are regular electrification. So these are so many activities involved. So below this, what is this? 2, 3, okay, this is 2, 3, 13. I think they are required number of days, let us say. Number of days required to complete that activity. So just one typical example. So this we are going to discuss in detail. Okay? And some of the key elements, you see, the first what you should understand here, if you want to understand this complex network, first and foremost thing you should be able to know here is, you see, the activities are represented by arrows in forward direction. So can you able to understand this? Activities are represented by arrows in which are in forward direction. That is most important. Okay, all arrows are in forward direction. You see, can you able to identify here? Let us say. So these are the typical arrow of an activity. Let us assume that A is an activity. Let us say A is an activity, and this activity is described by an arrow, and all arrows are in forward direction. That's what you are seeing. No? You see, all arrows are in forward direction. No arrows is in reverse. It may be like this. You see, it may be like this and it may be like this. But no arrows will going to, you see, this arrow is like this. Okay, so no arrows are represented in reverse direction. That is one characteristic. For that, the activities are represented by arrows in forward direction. And if it is an arrow, okay, this is called tail of the arrow, and this is called the arrowhead. It's just like a arrow means uh, in your AutoCAD and all, you are drawn so many arrows now to indicate your rebars, concrete line, everything. So like this is arrow. So this we will call it as tail, and this is we call it as head, arrowhead. So what it indicates? You should be very specific here. So the tail of the arrow depicts the commencement of an activity. You see, the activity A is going to commence from here, and it is going to end at the other. Okay, where your arrowhead is there. So the activity is going to commence at this point. Okay, and it will going to end at this point. Stop. Okay, at that is what the tail of the arrow depicts the commencement of activity, and the arrowhead, this is arrowhead represents termination. Okay, all this you see activity start here, it is going to terminate. It is going to start here, it is going to terminate like this. That is one characteristic. Second, the third one is the description of an activity is written above the arrow, and this duration here in the middle. You see. So what it indicates? A is an activity. What is the example? So many activities. Just we saw in this or previous example. No? You see various activities. The description activities is represented above the arrow. You see all description are represented above arrow, and below represent the duration. Okay? That's what it is indicate. Duration of completion. It is not just a duration. It is the duration of completion. Okay. Next one. An activity excavation needs, for example, you see this is one example. In this example, you can understand that activity. What is activity here? Activity is nothing but excavation. Let us say activity is excavation. It is represented above arrow, and below it how many days it requires to complete 2 units. Units may be anything. Number of hours, okay, number of days, number of months, okay, number of years. It may be anything. But here it is excavation. So it may take 2 days. As I told you, it may take 2 days. Like this is one example. And next one, the length of the arrow is not drawn to scale. The next thing what you should observe here, the length of the arrow, it doesn't represent anything. So it may be like this, it may be like this, or it may be like this. It is not drawn to scale. Okay, length doesn't represent the number of days. No, not like that. It may be anything. Based on your convenience, you can able to draw the arrow length of the arrow. It is not as per the scale, and it doesn't have any significance. Next, as far as possible, the length of the arrow should be so long that the description of the activity could be written. That's what you see. This is excavation. No? So if you write the arrow, so let us say, if you write the arrow like this, okay, if you write the arrow like this, it doesn't look good. Okay. So the length of the arrow is should be such that at least it should cover the description of the activity. You see, this is the minimum we can able to expect. Okay, so maximum. So if you do like this, then also it will going to have some. It will not going to look good. Network diagram will consume more space. Okay, so you choose based on your description, length of the description, word and all, length of the words. You decide the length of the arrow. That is one thing. Next, arrows are neither curved nor they are drawn in reverse direction. That's what we have discussed. No? These arrows are not curved; they are always straight, and they are never they are going to write in reverse direction. No, there is no reverse direction. So no reverse direction. You see, this is no reverse direction arrows. Only the arrow direction will always move forward like this. Okay, that is. You see, this is one more example. So one more example of this one activity. Let us say it is some activity A, B, C. You see, all activities are represented above, and immediately they have, this one typical. You see, it is not hard and fast rule that you should be able to do like this only. It depends upon the product and their convenience. But the standard notation and drawing the network diagram and all you should be able to know. They have indicated below itself. This 25 days can be written here also. Okay, that is one thing you can do. And you see they have done the color coding also. Sometimes network diagrams may have some color coding. Okay, start. This is the start blue color, and this is the end. Okay, so this is the start, and this is the end, which is in blue color. Okay, I don't want to confuse with this. Some more arrows. So next, this is a black color. Black color indicates the activities. You see, this black color indicates the activities, and the red color indicates critical path activities. That's what in this critical path method we are going to identify which path is critical. That's all. The critical path method of network analysis is simple. So which path is critical? So you're going to take longer days. So that is what we are going to find out this critical path method. We are going to take up one example in the next discussion. So this is one example. This is called activity. And what about node? So node, or we will call it as event. Okay, we will call it as event or node. So these are the beginning or end points of an activity. Okay. So what I can able to see here, these are the beginning or end points of an activity. You can just see here. Let us say. So whatever the circle you are seeing, those are all called events. Yeah? Don't confuse it activity and events here. So this is start. Start is an event, no? For the entire project, start is an event, and this start and this is end. You see, this event is connected with this activity, and where the tail of the activity indicates the start of the event, and this arrow head indicates the beginning of the other event. Okay, that is one thing you can able to tell. So event is a point in the time, does not consume. You see, event doesn't consume any time. It just indicates the project will start, this excavation completed, or this handover of the project. Like that, it will going to just let you know the what is happening. Okay, the event is what exactly it has happened that after the completion of activity. That is one thing, and it is represented by circle. Okay, sometimes it is in oval shape. That is one thing. And you see, and one more important thing here is it is the state that marks the completion of a preceding activity, okay, and the beginning of the succeeding one. So what it is going to tell, for example, you will take this preceding and succeeding. Preceding means it is already happened. Okay. Succeeding means what is going to happen in the next immediate next event. You see, for example, so you take this activity. So if you take this activity A, this activity, this event, okay, event they have made as what 10, 20, 30, like this they have done. So this event, what is it going to represent? It is going to represent this end of some activity. You see, this is called the end of the activity. No, arrow end is the end of the activity, and this is called the beginning of the activity. So this is what if you take a event, it is going to represent this end of one activity and beginning of the other activity. So that's what we can able to understand from this event. You see, state the completion of preceding activity. What is the preceding activity here? You see, for example, if you take this 40, this arrow, okay, this point will going to indicate the the event A, okay, or this activity. This is preceding activity. Activity is preceding activity. Activity is succeeding. What is there will going to come the next step. So this is the end of the activity E, preceding activity, and the beginning of the succeeding activity. That is G. So please just clearly read that sentence once again. You are going to understand. And that is one thing. Next, the event are labeled numerically that helps to identify them and describe the connecting activities. You see, let us say, whatever the example you have taken here, inside this, okay, what is there inside the circle or oval shape, it indicates the name of that particular event. Okay, here they are just given as 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. But if you take a simple, okay, just you see this is blank, nothing is there inside. But if you write specifically inside that, or you are going to label it systematically, okay, okay, labeling the events is covered in the subsequent paragraph. Let us understand in the next this one. For this one, let us say two events, okay. So event two events are there. What is that? You just give the label event I and event J, let us say. Okay. Those are all interconnected. You see, all arrows are always moving forward direction. That is one thing. So next, some of the notes. What is that? The first event of the project is called start event, and last event is called end. You see, the first and the last event will always be the start and the end respectively. You see, you take this in itself. You see, the first is always the start, and the final event is always the end of the that particular project. That is one. Next one is an event at which an activity starts is termed as preceding event, and the event is terminate. Terminate is called succeeding event. That's what we call now. The event which an activity starts is termed as preceding event. You see, this is starting. Okay, you see, if you take these I and J, this event I is called preceding event because this is starting here, and here this is called succeeding event. Is it okay? You can just try to understand here where it started. Here one activity is going to start, so that's why this event I will call it as preceding event. Here the activity is going to terminate, that's why this event is called succeeding event. That is one. You see one example, is there. It is a network. It's I, J, K and L. Okay, so what is the meaning? So an event of significance such as electrification completion, so this will come to later. So here, an event of significance, for example, electrification completion or building ready for occupation. So those are called key events. The key events are nothing but some major, okay, for example, the complete internal framework of the frame structure, column beam structure framework of the project is completed, okay, or it is ready to hand over. Like this, those we will call it as key events. Okay, a key event common to two or more called interface. Sometimes there will be a common event. That event we will call it as interface event. Okay. So that is one thing. Figure 5, and this is not figure 5. It is figure 11. So this is one example. So active. So these are called events. I just I'm going to revise. These are called events, which is their written circle, and this arrow indicates the activity. This tail indicates the start of the activity, and the arrowhead indicates the end of the activity. And the event, this is the preceding event where activity will start, and this is the succeeding event, and this is preceding. If you take this is preceding and this is succeeding, like this. It is a relative. Okay. So what are these? A, C indicates A, B, C, D indicates the description of the activity. I, J, K, L indicates the labeling of the particular event. Okay? So that's what. Next, as I told you, some of the activities we will call it as dummy activities. So what are those dummy activities? It is an imaginary activity which does not consume any resource and time. You see, if you take activity, it is an imaginary. Okay, it doesn't have any significance which is going to consume the resources and time. It is a dummy activity. What it is going to do? Why we require these dummy activities? It is simply used to represent a connection between events in order to maintain some logic in the network. Okay, in order to maintain some logic in the network, we are going to use these dummy activities. So what are those? You see here, and always it is represented by dotted line. Okay, you should be very careful. If it is a dummy activity, you should be able to write in a dotted line. Okay, we'll see one example. We are going to see here. We'll see one example. So you see, these are the events: 1, 2, 3, 4 events. It is not labeled. Okay, no need to worry. It is just a simple example. And A, B, and C are the activities. Okay, or description of the activities. And this, you see, this is what this is written in a what is called is dotted line, and this we will call it as dummy activity. Nothing is there. It is going to connect. You see, there is a relationship between these two events. Okay. For example, after the completion of these two events, some other event will going to happen. So it is going to build a interrelationship between the events, and it is going to fill some void so that you can understand some logic in the particular network diagram. Okay, so those we will call it as dummy activity. Okay, so that's all. I will go to take up this example in the next session. Okay, first you try to watch it once again, and or you can able to refer any other textbook, because this is a very critical uh, the core concept what you should understand in this construction project management. Okay, so that's why I'll not go in a hurry. You just listen one or twice. Okay, so then once you understand this, we will take one example of the actual. Okay, we'll take one example of the actual construction process and try to understand the various things what we discussed, right? What is activity, what is event, and what is a dummy activity, what is succeeding or preceding activities, okay, event. So many things we are going to take up in this next class. Okay, so thank you.